Rain fell like cold glass on the lonely stretch of Highway 41, turning the world silver and gray. Inside a flickering roadside diner, a young waitress with tired eyes and a cracked smile poured coffee into chipped mugs, humming softly to keep herself from crying. She had just counted her tips for the night, only $12. 30 more shifts like this, she thought, and maybe she could finally pay her mother's medical bills. But fate had other plans that night, because when the door opened with the sound of thunder and the growl of motorcycles filled the distance, 5 leather-clad bikers, soaked, hungry, and broke, walked in. And what happened next would make headlines across the state within 2 days. Before the story unfolds, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe for more real, emotional, and life-changing stories that restore your faith in humanity. The Diner of Broken Dreams. The place was called Mabel's Route 41 Diner, though everyone in the nearby town just called it the last stop before nowhere. The waitress's name was Lena Moore, 26 years old, a girl with the kind of eyes that held too much pain for her age. She worked double shifts to pay for her mom's dialysis treatments. Her father had passed away 2 years ago, leaving behind nothing but an old pickup truck and a heap of unpaid bills. That night, the diner was empty except for the soft hum of a radio and the whisper of rain on the tin roof. Then came the rumble, the unmistakable roar of Harleys cutting through the storm. The door creaked open, and the scent of gasoline and wet leather filled the air. 5 men stepped in, big, bearded, tattoos crawling up their arms. One of them, with a scar running down his cheek, looked straight at Lena. For a moment she froze. She had heard the stories. Bikers meant trouble. But when she met his eyes, she didn't see danger. She saw exhaustion, hunger, and maybe just a little bit of hurt. "Kitchen still open, sweetheart?" the scarred man asked. His voice rough but polite. Lena nodded. "For another 30 minutes. "What'll it be?" The men exchanged uneasy glances. One of them whispered something, and the scarred man looked embarrassed. "Ma'am, truth is we're kind of short on cash tonight. We've been on the road 3 days, lost our wallets at a gas stop. We just need a bite before we head out again." Lena blinked. Her own stomach was growling from skipping dinner. She had every reason to say no. But she looked at their mud-streaked boots, their tired faces, and then at the untouched pies behind the counter. "Sit down," she said softly. "I'll bring you something warm." A meal without a price tag. She moved quickly. Fried eggs, bacon, pancakes, and steaming coffee. The smell filled the diner like hope returning after a long winter. The bikers ate in silence, glancing up every now and then as if they couldn't believe she was serious. When they finished, the scarred man stood and approached her. "We'll come back and pay you, I promise. Just tell me your name." Lena smiled gently. "You don't owe me anything. Just stay safe out there." The man's throat tightened. He extended his hand. "Name's Ryder. You ever need anything, you call this number." He scribbled it on a napkin. Lena chuckled softly. "I don't think I'll ever need a biker gang's number." Ryder grinned. "You'd be surprised. They left without another word, the rain swallowing the sound of their engines." Lena stood at the window long after they disappeared into the night. The storm that followed 2 days passed. The rain didn't stop. Business was slow. Lena had to pawn her father's watch to buy her mother's medicine. That evening, as she cleaned the counter, a police cruiser pulled up outside. "Ma'am," said the officer as he entered. "Are you Lena Moore?" Her heart skipped. "Yes. Did something happen?" He hesitated. "You fed a group of bikers 2 nights ago?" "Yeah, 5 of them. Why?" He sighed. "Those men belong to the Hells Angels chapter out of Arizona. Word is their president, Ryder, was shot last night trying to stop a robbery at a gas station." Lena's hands went cold. "What? Is he alive?" the officer said. "Barely. They found a napkin in his jacket pocket. It had your name and the diner's address." She didn't understand. "Why would he?" The officer looked at her with a strange expression. "Because before he passed out, he told them, 'If I don't make it, tell the boys to take care of Lena Moore.'" 48 hours later, it was a calm Sunday morning. The sky had just begun to clear after days of rain. Lena was sweeping the front steps when she heard it again, the distant rumble of engines. At first, she thought it was just a few bikes, but then came more, dozens, then hundreds. The ground began to shake beneath her feet. People in town started coming out of their houses, confused, as a thunderous convoy of Harleys, Triumphs, and Indian motorcycles rolled down the street. Rows and rows of chrome and leather stretching as far as the eye could see. In less than 10 minutes, over 800 bikers had surrounded the diner, engines idling, chrome glinting in the sunlight. The noise was deafening. Lena stood frozen, broom in hand, her heart pounding. A tall man with a red bandana stepped off his bike and walked toward her. He had the Hells Angels insignia across his vest and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much of the world. "You Lena Moore?" he asked. "Yes," she whispered. He nodded. "Ryder's brother. He's in the hospital, but he's awake. He told us what you did." Lena shook her head. "I didn't do anything. I just gave him food." The man looked around at the hundreds of bikes. "You call that nothing? You fed men who had nothing left, and you asked for nothing in return. That's more than most of this world does." He handed her an envelope. It was thick. Too thick. She hesitated to open it. "Ryder wanted you to have it," the man said, "for your kindness, for your mom." Inside were stacks of cash, dozens of $100 bills. Lena's eyes filled with tears. "I can't accept this," the man interrupted. "You already did your part, sweetheart. Now it's our turn." Then, as one, every biker revved their engines. The roar echoed through the valley like a storm of gratitude. The town that changed overnight news spread like wildfire. People who had avoided Lena's diner for years suddenly lined up around the block. Reporters came. Photographers, the mayor himself visited and offered to renovate the place for free. When asked why the bikers had done it, one of them simply said, "Because she reminded us that kindness doesn't need a receipt." Lena used the money not for herself, but to pay off her mother's hospital bills and fix the diner's roof. She even started a small community fund to feed anyone in need, no questions asked. Every Sunday, a few Harleys would still roll in, park outside, and order black coffee and pancakes. They never said much. But Lena always knew. They were Ryder's men, checking in, making sure she was okay. 2 months later, it was late evening. The diner lights glowed warm against the night sky. Lena was closing up when a familiar sound reached her ears, the low, gentle growl of a single Harley. She stepped outside, and there he was, Ryder, pale, walking with a limp, but alive. "I told you I'd come back," he said with a crooked grin. Lena's eyes filled with tears. "You shouldn't be out of bed. Had to see the angel who fed 5 devils," he joked. They laughed softly. Ryder looked around at the diner, now freshly painted and full of life. "You did all this?" "No," she said. "Kindness did." He smiled faintly. "Funny thing about kindness, it always finds its way home." Before the ending, if this story touched your heart, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Universe. Every story here is a reminder that one small act of kindness can shake the world. The message that lived on. A year later, the diner had a new sign, Lena's Angels Cafe, where kindness is always on the menu. Tourists stopped by to take pictures. Truckers told the story on long night drives. Parents told it to their kids before bed. But for Lena, it was never about fame or money. It was about a rainy night, 5 hungry strangers, and a choice. To be kind when she had every reason not to, and that choice, that one small act of love, had echoed louder than the roar of 800 engines, because kindness doesn't just change lives, sometimes it saves them.